Welcome to another episode of the Balancing Hormones Naturally podcast, where we offer actions and steps you can take today to start balancing your hormones naturally. This is your podcast host, Leah Brueggemann. I am a functional diagnostic nutritional practitioner. I am honored and excited to be your guide on your journey to better understanding your hormonal health and how it affects your everyday life. Hey ladies, welcome back to another episode.
I don't get to do the intro.
Do you want to do?
Hey ladies.
Do you want to do the intro?
No.
Welcome back to another episode. So, anyways, we thought it would be interesting and fun. Was this your idea? I think it was your idea.
So, yeah.
Yeah, to have my husband interview me. I'm not sure what questions he's going to ask. I haven't seen them.
I don't either.
Okay. Go ahead.
So just spitball.
Spitball, yeah.
Tell me, how did this all start?
My business? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had fibroadenomas and my life was a mess. No, but seriously, when I was diagnosed with fibroadenomas, we were dating. Yeah, we were dating. You had to take me to the doctor because I was like...
In denial.
I was in denial.
And incapable of going on your own.
Yeah, I was freaking
You didn't
out.
Actually didn't even have a doctor because you had moved down to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I moved down to Kentucky. I graduated college, moved down to Kentucky, did a self-breast exam, and found lumps. Like, massive, like a golf ball. Freaked out and called my mom. She told me I had to go to the doctor. And I didn't even have an established doctor down here. I hadn't been there that long. But they got me in ASAP. And I went in, and then he sent me to get an ultrasound. And that's where I think you had to take me, because that's when I was, like, freaking out.
Yeah.
They told me I had fibroadenomas, which are benign breast tumors. But they recommended I have them surgically removed. And I remember going back in the car and, like, bawling my eyes out, even though I'm like, they're benign. But it was just, like, I don't know.
It was emotional.
Yeah, it was scary. And so, yeah, that's basically what started my health journey. Except for, I am going to be completely honest, I did not start my health journey in the healthiest way. I was the, like, 30-day fix looking on Pinterest, the 30-day diet that was going to, like, solve all my issues, the one supplement that was going to change the world for me. Don't ever do that because, like, I hallucinated with one of the supplements. Like,
What?
remember when I took iodine? Yeah, it was recommended that I take iodine, and I had hallucinations. I remember telling you this. Well,
this was before we were married?
this was way
Okay.
before we were married. This is like...
That sounds fun.
It was not.
No. Not fun.
Anyways, so that's why you don't randomly supplement. You don't, like, go down Dr. Google. Wasn't a good idea. Anyways, so
So that's kind of what started it?
Yeah, I've
And
come
then
a
it's just
long
been
way.
one foot in front of the other since then?
Yeah, lots of doctors, lots of learning.
So, so consider like your hormone journey and your health journey
Yeah,
the path. I'm stealing
Okay.
this from Jocko Willink.
I don't know
How
who that
long
is.
have you been on the path?
How long have we been married? Plus, so I would say almost 10 years.
Have you been on the path the whole time? Or
Yeah,
come on and off?
yeah.
Okay.
It's been like one foot in front of the other. Some seasons more intense, some seasons more laid back, but yeah.
So if you could go back to the start of when you got on the path, what would you do differently?
Oh my God, I'd go find somebody who knew what they were talking about.
Okay.
I would go find...
How would you find someone? Like, so like you go back to that, I don't know, you're probably like 22, 23, something like
21.
that. Whatever. And so like,
No, I was younger than that, but yeah, keep going.
either way. I mean, you were graduated from school, right? So 21, 22.
So it's been like 9 years.
Yeah, but either way. So like you're that same young lady again. What do
Okay.
you do differently?
With the knowledge that I have now, I would say word of mouth. Go find somebody with a similar experience and talk to them and figure out who have they learned who have they gone to? Because what I learned the hard way is that not all naturopaths are created equal. Not all practitioners are created. Not all naturopathic doctors are created equal. And so just because it's naturopathic doctor doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to jive or, it's going to be a good fit. So I would say finding someone who's been through a similar experience, and then who did they work with, or even just going on the social medias and finding someone and then talking to their clients or looking at their testimonials. The thing that took me the longest is that I was just throwing spaghetti at a wall. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying random stuff.
Plus, then your spaghetti doesn't taste very good.
It doesn't. And then on top of it, I didn't realize that a lot of these things were like lifestyle shifts that I would have to make, to put my body in a healing environment. I was just under this impression that it was a 30-day fix, I just hadn't quite found the 30-day fix yet. So
eventually you'd run out of 30 days though. That'll fix ya.
So yeah, I would go find somebody who's been through it, someone who has experience, someone who has knowledge, and make sure they resonate with you. Like, I think that's important too.
Can I push back on that a little bit?
Oh dear. Okay.
So I feel like you kind of did that though, because didn't your mom have the same issues that you did?
She never told me.
But didn't you go to her though, and then she was like, here, try these things?
Oh, no. Well, my mom had fibroadenomas.
But she never had any of the other issues?
No.
Okay, that's
No.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. No, my mom had fibroadenomas. My mom never got rid of them, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would, she was like, they went away when I went through menopause. But the thing is, I should ask, I don't understand this. Like, I very recently found out that my mom had fibroadenomas.
Yeah.
When I told her I had fibroadenomas, it was not something she was like, oh yeah, I had those. It's like, whatever. I was panicking alone. No, I'm just kidding. Just not talked about. Even to this day, I don't know if it's that generation. I think sometimes when I talk about period issues with my mom, she's even just like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah.
But
Doesn't she listen to the podcast?
I think so.
So she does like the stuff. She's just still in the awkward phase.
She just doesn't shouldn't necessarily want to like talk about it all the time, I guess.
Fair.
Depends. It depends.
It would probably be awkward with your kid.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't think so.
I don't know.
But she had fibroadenomas, and I know she had period cramps. But again, like at this point, I think my mom was postmenopausal, so it's like different ball game. And my mom had never come out on the other side.
Yeah.
So, like you have to find someone with a similar story, but has come out on the other side. That's my massive bruise from getting my blood drawn the other day.
Oh, okay.
So sore.
So
We're going to take a quick moment for today's sponsor. So I know you love seed cycling, but you're really struggling to figure out what to get your seeds in. You're like, okay, it's kind of boring just sticking them in a smoothie. So I have a couple suggestions for you. If you don't already do the energy ball seed cycling balls, you are missing out. Let me give you a recipe. So this is my favorite one of all time, but I use 2 cups of gluten-free oats, glyphosate-free oats. I use 1 cup of nut butter, and then 1 cup of the seeds of whatever phase I'm in. So if I'm in my follicular phase or period, I'm going to be doing 1 cup of the pumpkin and flaxseed blend. So that's going to be the Nurture blend from Funk It Wellness. I do less than a half a cup of honey. Sometimes I sprinkle some hemp hearts in there or chia seeds. I'll do a sprinkle of some Celtic sea salt and then a teaspoon of vanilla. And then if you're feeling spicy, I like to do some Hu chocolate chunks. Those are really good. Mix it all up. I stick it in the fridge, kind of, solidify for a second, pull it back out, roll it into balls, and voila, you can have 2 of those a day, get your seeds in, and thoroughly enjoy your life. The other way that I really like getting them in is overnight oats or protein oats. So this is really good if you have to be somewhere in the morning, right? So I will do like half a cup of oats, and then you can put some raw dairy in there if you're okay with that, or some coconut milk. And you cover the oats so they're fully submerged. And then I'll put my 2 tablespoons of seeds in there. And then I typically will do a protein powder as well. And then a little bit more fat, so some nut butter. and then you cover and you stick it in the fridge, and well, I'll mix it up, you guys. And then I will pull that out the next morning, and I will top it with some berries. And then I typically will add some meat on the side to make sure I'm getting in enough protein for my breakfast. But that's another great way to get your seeds in, and it's super fast morning breakfast, so highly recommend. To make this even faster, I of course am using my Funk It Wellness seeds because I don't have to grind them, because they grind them right before they are shipped to me. These are B Corp organic certified seeds. You guys, you can taste the difference. I 1000% recommend them. Plus, you don't have to have like a million bags of seeds in your pantry, because they have the Nurture blend, which is your pumpkin and flax seeds. And then they have the Radiate blend, which is your sesame and sunflower. So you just have these two tiny bags of seeds instead of tons of bags of seeds all over the place, right? So you can get their subscription, so they're shipped to your house every single month, and they're ground right before they're shipped to you, so they're not going to go rancid, okay? So go get the subscription, go to Funk It Wellness, do the subscription, you'll get free shipping, yes, and a discount. Then use the code LEAH15, LEAH15, to save even more money, making it super cost effective. But let's be real, you guys. This is saving you time, you know? And if you want to be consistent with seed cycling, you need to figure out how to fit it in your life in a way that you don't have to think very hard about it. And that is what Funk It Wellness brings to you, is it makes it so easy to be consistent. And then of course, you're going to see results because you're being consistent.
So, with that being said, what was the most important thing that you did do when you were first starting out? And again, that's hard to say, but like, you know, like what was the thing you did right? Maybe let's go there.
Kept looking. I think that was
you took
big.
Action, basically.
Yeah. I kept looking, and I would implement ASAP. But I think one of the biggest things is just knowing that somehow it had to do with my nutrition and lifestyle, instead of just like, what like pharmaceutical drug can I go on? Like I just, the belief that I could fix it, I guess.
Okay. So you're saying the belief that you could fix it is a good thing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, as opposed to just being like
stuck with this.
Okay. Or like this is just normal. So like, did you have any doctors or like other health professionals just be like, oh, this is normal?
No.
No?
Not with fibroadenomas.
Okay.
Yeah. Not with my fibroid, like they said they're common, like a lot of women have them, but like they were always like, oh, you should have this removed or whatever. The one thing that, looking back, I just find so wild to me is they never asked me about my cycle, you know? Like, I remember
who's like when
any
they
doctors,
were diagnosing your fibroadenomas or what?
Or just asking me questions about my health in general. Like they ran genetic tests, they ran like heavy metal, they ran all sorts of tests. And it was just, oh, you have high estrogen and your liver has issues. And that was just like, you know, the answer to that was, let's put you on progesterone cream. Never like, let's figure out why your estrogen's higher, why your progesterone's low. And I remember going to my, I think, primary care doctor one time, and he was like, okay, what day of your cycle are you on? And I was like, day 2. And he was like, so you're on your period right now? And I was like, yes. And I was looking at him like he was crazy, because I'm just like, in my mind, my cycle was my period. And I know a lot of women think that. Like, you don't think of it being cyclical. You're just like, your cycles, your period, 5 days, and then you're back to your life normal. Or whatever. Yeah.
So you're abnormal for 5 days and then normal for 23? Is that how
I don't
it works?
know. I just remember looking at him like he had 2 heads. But none of them talked to me about my cycle and the fluctuations of the hormones and why was estrogen an issue with my progesterone. And there was no education, and there was no looking at my body as a whole. It was, I would go in, tell the doctor what was going on. I can fix it. And it would always this magic supplement or this like, it was always a lot of money supplement. And it was always this very intense nutrition plan that was extremely restrictive. And But none of them looked at my body as a whole.
Okay. But like none of them, so like other than like supplementation and stuff
Hmm.
like that, none of them were like necessarily dismissive. Because I feel like a lot of times you help
No.
women and their care providers are dismissive of that. And I'm just wondering how like a lot of people can have that problem, but you never did. Like was it just luck of the draw, or did you know how to pick people, or
Part of it was luck of the draw. I will say that all of the naturopaths and physicians that I went to were referrals from people, not people who had similar issues as me. It was just like, hey, what naturopath do you go
people
to?
you knew and trusted?
Yeah. And so like they never dismissed me and told me like I was crazy, but like they would just always hone in on one thing, like, oh, your fibroadenomas are because of estrogen, so we're just going to like put you on an estrogen lowering supplement,
Yeah.
opposed to like, why is this is me now going like, why was my estrogen high?
Yeah.
Like why was it an issue? But no, they were never dismissive, but they were always referrals from people I knew,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't the same condition. So maybe that's why.
Okay. So not the most important thing, but like what's your maybe most important thing, but what's your favorite thing you're doing for your health right now? Or most important, one of the two.
Um, can I have two?
You have to rank order them though. Yeah, you can have two. They can be tied for first place.
Okay, so I think a big one is
Are
like,
you our favorites or most important?
this is most important.
Okay.
Is a hair mineral analysis, like staying on top of my mineral testing, because like, especially
How
through
often do you test your minerals?
you can test them every like 4 to 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Um, depending on what you have going on. I specifically like know that pregnancy tanks my minerals, and so that's like I think the most important thing really that I'm
So
doing.
like staying on top of what's going or
Yeah,
tracking
yeah,
maybe?
staying on top of the customization that I need in my supplements, especially through pregnancy, because that's really important to me, is to support Killian. Um, but then also working with Kara, actually, because like we're working so much on just like,
Who's Kara?
oh my
I'm just
god,
teasing.
my
do
nerd.
do all of the people on your massive podcast know who Kara is?
Probably not. Kara is my coach, and she's like,
Health coach,
no, she's a business slash like
mindset,
my
life
slash
coach.
like my, like I don't know, like she's just my friend that I
I'd
pay.
pay her to be my friend.
But I've been working with her since
This is
Landon.
30 people. Leah's not 30. I know that. But
I'm
yeah, you have to
kidding.
pay people to be your friend.
I'm getting there. I've been working with her since Landon was 3 months old, though. So like she started out as strictly a business coach, but then as she's like transformed in coaching from what she's learned, we do a lot of mindset and nervous system, and like she's like trauma certified. I'm not saying like I have a traumatic life or anything,
She
but
does.
um, I think it's
She has to
very.
hear all the horror stories from my work because I'm a doctor, so it gets very,
Oh my
very intense.
Lanta.
Which, by the way, how does it feel to be married to a doctor?
It's good. It's really nice when you can give me adjustments.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Though. So,
Um,
Kara is one of the most important things
Yeah.
for your health right now. Why is that? Since she's not a health coach.
Because lowering my stress levels and prioritizing, like managing my stress and like regulating my nervous system is like one of the best things I could do for my health, because stress has such an impact on your hormones and your health. And so, I'm taking care of my health from like the health standpoint, and I have people in my corner for that. But like having someone make sure I'm like taking care of my mental health is really important. And
Because all your systems are related.
yeah.
So that brings up another question. So in like physical therapy, we get a lot of like back pain. Not anymore because I do home health. But all you outpatient physical therapists, you get a lot of back pain.
Yeah.
And so people have back pain a long time, like especially if it started when they were younger and now they're 55 and they've had this back pain for 30 years. Like it's a chronic chronic condition and they almost kind of identify by it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of research on this, but like a lot of the times, even if you fix the problem, they'll still have pain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like it's called thalamic gating and stuff, and there's a whole bunch of techniques you can employ as a physical therapist to go about fixing that. But with that being said, do you find, or do you know, and maybe you don't know, but it can that be true for other things? So like say you're a woman and you've had like hormonal problems since you were, since you started having hormones,
Mm-hmm.
not started, but like, since you went through puberty or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're 35, so, for the past 20 years, I think I did that math right, for the past like 20 years, you've had issues. Like, could it be possible that you like fix the problem and then like you keep having problems because like, and again, it's not that the person's crazy or
Mm-hmm.
anything, but like there's like a thalamic gating process there that's
Yeah.
really important in getting them to fix the problem, sort of thing. Or
I'm gonna say like yes and no, as in if you don't support the mental health at the same time, then I think you're not going to see as many results. I will say that my clients that see the best results are the ones that are also seeing a therapist at the same time or have someone.
like an emotional
Yeah,
therapist or
yeah.
like a physical therapist, occupational
Oh,
therapist,
sorry, what are the mental therapists called?
psychotherapist.
Thank you. um, or at least someone in their corner, like a life coach or someone that can help guide them through those things. Because so many emotions come up, as you're healing. And I think also letting go of that identity of being sick, Like, I think I held on to that for a really long time of like, oh, I have hormonal issues. Like, I have fibroadenomas. Like, that's my story. That's who I am. So in that
Yes, I know.
case, yes, but like,
Also no,
no.
because like if you fixed your hormones, they're fixed.
Yeah, they're fixed. I do have to say though, and PTSD is not the right word. Like it's almost, but like there are times when like I'll start my period and I'll get that like warming sensation in like my lower abdomen, and I used to have horrific period cramps. And so I'll get that warming sensation and it doesn't go past that, but like I'll get it and I immediately am just like oh my Lanta. Like it's like that fear of like, oh my gosh, I get that, and I'm sure other people get that too, but I don't think that's the same thing.
Kind of, I guess.
But yeah.
Interesting. So, I don't know why that was so funny. I had a question, and it just like completely flipped my mind. Anyway, we'll go
Okay.
on to the next question. So we covered like the thing that's like the most important or your favorite thing you're doing right now. What's something that you're like struggling with? Oh, and I remembered the question, so I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. The thing I'm struggling with in my health.
Just like it could be your health, it could be something else.
I still struggle with setting boundaries. Like I like have such a guilt trip about it. Like, but I can't be on my phone answering questions all the time, and I can't, like I have to also be a wife and a mom, and and it's hard, and that's why I put out all of these free resources. But I definitely deal with the guilt trip of like, it's hard to. I want to be able to help a lot of people, but there's only one of Leah.
The guilt trip of what? What's the guilt trip from what?
Of like I can't answer everybody's questions, and like also legally like I can't answer questions that like if we don't have a client coach relationship, and I always feel bad being like, sorry, I can't answer that question,
Yeah.
because I know they need help and they're just out there. So that's the hardest thing, honestly, I think, is setting boundaries and knowing like I have to say no, sorry, I can't do that.
Oh, that's good. And so the question that I remembered is
Mm-hmm.
when you think about yourself, because like we all have like a mental image of
Yeah.
what we see ourselves as. So like, a good example for me to kind of frame this question is like when I go to buy alcohol, like I always like am like I have to get my ID out because like I still feel like I'm a 19-year-old kid, or like when
Yeah.
I'm at work and I'm talking to people, I still see myself as a 19-year-old. I don't know what that is. If there's like
Yeah.
psychologists or psychiatrists out there, they can probably diagnose me because like I don't know if it was just like an important growth period I went through, so I very highly identify by that age, and then I'm like, wait, I'm way closer to 30. So it's like it's weird. I kind of view myself in that way. So like when you in your mental image of yourself, like do you see yourself as like you're healed and everything now,
Mm-hmm.
and like your hormonal issues are kind of behind you, or do you still kind of view yourself as this person with all these issues still?
I don't view myself as a person with all these issues anymore. No.
Okay.
I think that was like, again, that's the mindset trip because
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when you were asking a question, and I feel like so much of my story was identifying as someone with fibroadenomas, and it's like I rarely talk about it, and I should because that's still like the beginning part of my journey, but like they're gone, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just like, and I haven't had period cramps in like years.
Yeah.
So um I don't I don't identify as someone with issues, but I also think that my journey is always learning and always growing because I think there's always something to work on with your health, and I think that, you know, there's always something to improve upon and to learn about. You have to always stay consistent.
Yeah.
So no, I don't say I identify as that, but I will say like when I think back to who that person was, like I can really empathize with my clients because I've been there where it's like 10 hours of sleep and I'm so tired I can't even function.
Probably getting too much sleep.
And not understanding why and like crying on the couch and just not knowing what to do, and feeling super lost. So I definitely remember that, and it sucked. That's all.
Yeah, that's tough. So,
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from, but this question just came into my mind.
Okay.
How many books have you read this week?
A lot.
How many? Like, give me a number.
Probably 5.
Oh, okay, that's not as high. So, like, this woman, you guys, like, she'll be like, hey, I'm going to the library. And I'm like, okay. And then, like, she's gone for, however long. It's right down the road, so it doesn't take long to get there. So she goes there and she comes back, and she'll literally have, like a stack and her like from like waist up to her head,
It's
and it's
typically
like
only like 7. I max out at 7 or 8.
you've come home with way more than 7
Okay,
books
it
before.
was a rare
And I'm
time.
like, okay, like so like especially over the winter, like she was reading a
Oh,
ton
yeah.
of books.
Yeah.
And like she would come home with all these books, and I'd be like, that's probably like enough books to last like a couple months. And I'm like, how often does the library like require you to return books? And she's like, oh, every couple weeks or whatever. And I was like, you're gonna read 32 novels in a week? Like, so yeah, she reads a lot of books. But anyway, where I'm going with that is, what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun
You know,
or to relax?
this is really hard.
I've asked you this question before and you didn't have an answer, so I'm circling back.
I know. It's because I used to ride and
Ride motorcycles?
horses. And if you don't know, I used to have a horse and we had to get rid of her less than a year ago.
Get rid of her?
Well, no, I gave
We gave her away?
I gave her to a friend. And she's living her best life, literally. Like, she's so spoiled. But I had her since I was in high school, like a freshman in high school. And I broke her and everything. And so she was definitely my hobby, and I love riding. I still love riding, but I don't ride when I'm pregnant. And so when you asked me that question, I still kind of am just like, I walk, but that's not really a hobby, but I do find that really relaxing.
And you read novels.
I do read a lot.
So you used to watch a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
There was debate at work before whether or not that was a hobby.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I
I
don't.
don't think so.
Well, before we had Landon, like if I was working at home or something, like I hate the silence.
Yeah.
So I would turn on TV shows to like keep me company while I cleaned or did whatever. I read a lot. I also like I don't know, I feel like in some ways like my business, my health like used to be a hobby, but literally it's like a
It's
full-fledged
work now.
business
Yeah.
now. I enjoy it, but
Yeah.
it's a business. Um
You're too busy grinding to have hobbies.
um I do like reading health books too.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I feel
Um
like you like I don't want this to sound like stereotypical
oh
or like
dear.
judgmental, but I feel like you enjoy like buying things.
I
You,
do.
you know, like I think you just like to get new things. And like
I
whether
do.
again, so it's
It
a
can be
broad
two
it could
cents.
literally be like greens powder or something like that. But like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you just like to
Gift giving is my love
yeah,
language.
gift giving and then just like trying new things almost.
I
So like I
like
think you
trying.
like to kind of experiment. So
I'm a
yes
good
and no, you because whenever we go to a restaurant, I can order for you. Like it's anything Italian, it's gonna be like fettuccine alfredo every single freaking
with
time.
chicken.
Um, but
It's so
like
good.
I feel like when it comes to like supplements and health things, like that
Mm-hmm.
glucose monitor, like you're just like, oh, I'm gonna try
That was
this.
so
Yeah.
fun. We're bringing them on, or maybe they've already done an
Oh,
episode
cool.
about it. Um, I like experimenting with things. So, yeah, unfortunately, sometimes that means buying stuff.
So what's a hobby that you want to try? Since you don't
um,
have any and you're a boring person.
I'm not boring. I read. Um, I walk. Okay, so I really do want to learn tennis, but it's just like
You can't
can't
really do that when you're 9 months pregnant.
no. Um, and I really do like cooking. Like I wouldn't say I make gourmet meals all the time, but when I do make gourmet meals, like watch out. No, I'm just kidding. I really want to take a cooking
Yeah,
class. Like I want to take like cooking classes. I think that would be really fun.
you should do it. Okay, so what's something you're really excited about? Or maybe even slightly excited about?
I'm really excited about having Killian.
Yeah,
I mean, being
aside
on
from
the
that.
other side of
I
labor.
feel like that's obvious. What's something else?
Um, mm, I don't know. I'm really excited about growing the podcast. I know that's weird because we're talking on it, but like, I just think like the opportunities that we have coming with it is really exciting for everybody involved, listeners and producers. Producer. I guess I'm a single person. Um, I'm really excited about your new job.
Yeah, why?
I just think I like the schedule better. And I don't know. I was gonna take some like herbology,
Herbology. Hmm.
herbalist. No, I
Isn't
was
that what they call people who sell weed?
no, I was gonna take classes, like some classes in that. I thought that would be fun. But yeah, I guess I makes me a nerd because that's what I was excited about. I am really excited about watching Landon be a big brother.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So, hmm, what's your favorite food? Rapid fire.
Right now, and
Yeah,
peaches,
peaches. What's your favorite color?
pink.
What's your favorite car?
I have no idea. What car do I drive? A a a, a, a
A Jetta?
Volkswagen Jetta. Yeah,
Jetta.
it's a good car.
Favorite vacation spot you want to
Beach.
go to?
I want to go to Bora Bora
Bora Bora. Why?
because I want to sit in one of those overwater bungalows.
Okay. Um, of the are those like world trademark things? Not world trademark, but like the seven natural like world natural wonders of the
Oh,
world. That's what I'm trying to say. Which one would you could only go to one. Which one are you going to?
that's not a nice question.
Pick one.
Isn't the forest one like the rainforest or like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's I want to see
You
that.
want to see the
Yeah.
rainforest? Okay, so pyramids or the Great Wall of China?
Pyramids.
Pyramids. Okay. Let's see. So Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Any desire to go there and see it?
No,
No, why not?
it's too cold.
Too cold. What about like I'm trying to think of what the
It's
hottest place on earth is. Probably like either like Death Valley or like over in like Middle East or Africa where it's like
mm-hmm.
super hot. Any desire to go there?
Nope.
What's the craziest thing you would?
I want to take a moment to invite you and let you know that applications for one on one coaching are open. The next round is in November, and I'm super excited about it. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what you can expect from one on one coaching. Like, is one on one coaching even a good fit for you? So, application for one on one coaching is in the link in my bio. Go ahead and click that. You can read even more about it. Link in my bio. Leah, why do I keep saying that? Link is in the show notes. Get it together. And you can go ahead and apply there. You do have to apply for one on one coaching. We do have limited spots available. We only take 10 at a time because we obviously work very closely with you. We run labs, all that good stuff. So I want to tell you a little bit about kind of what happens. So it is 4 months, and we will work together closely during that time. You get 3 group calls a week. And the reason why I do group is I wanted a combination of you getting one on one coaching from me, but also a community of women that are working together for the same goals, because it can be lonely and it can be frustrating. And also, on top of that, everybody has different questions. So it's fun to get to know like other aspects of health, and you're like, oh my gosh, I was struggling with that, but I didn't even maybe realize, but somebody else asked a question. And then, so I love the community aspect of that as well. But you do have Voxer support, which is a voice text messaging app, Monday through Friday. It's like having your practitioner in your back pocket. We do run labs. A Dutch hormone panel and a hair mineral analysis are both included, and you will get that test sent to you, and then you get the analysis video, everything broken down, personalized protocols, all of that good stuff. So one-on-one coaching would be for you over like a group program. You need way more customized support. You want that longer container. You want to run the labs. You are just like, I have 1,000 questions and I want to be able to talk to you and have your eyeballs on my food journal every single week. I want you to be like really in depth on what's going on in my cycle. Maybe you have endometriosis, maybe you have like a chronic condition, you've been struggling for a really long time, or you're just like, you know what, I really just want the dedicated one-on-one support, then this would be for you. So I have a bunch of testimonials from when I worked with. If you go to the application, you can go ahead and look at them. And of course, I love connecting you with some of my previous one-on-one clients. If you're like, hey, I want to talk to someone who's been through it, because I understand it can be like a scary investment, but at the same time, like, you guys, your health is so worth it. If you've been feeling crappy for a really long time, I mean, it's priceless. It's priceless to finally feel better. I've worked with so many endo clients and women who just have been feeling horrible for so long, and I love hearing from you that, you know, you are a nurse and you don't have to call in sick anymore because of your periods. You have energy. You don't have to like rely on coffee anymore. You play with your kids again. I get messages from husbands being like, I have my wife back. So if you are interested in this, then I would highly recommend going and applying, and then we will chat. All details about everything that's included, pricing and everything is in the application.
You have ever done? What's the craziest thing you would like to do? Where like people, a normal person would be like, that's crazy. And again, it could be like, it doesn't have to be like something physically you do. It could just be like, oh, I would love to read 48 books in a day or something like that.
I have no desire to do that.
Well, like what would be like, what's something that you want to do that a normal person would be like, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, I have to think about that. I do want to ride probably a mule, actually, on the Grand Canyon versus a horse. They're more sure-footed. But I don't know. I think everyone should want to do that. That's cool.
I'd be down for that. I want to run. So I want to do like, there's an ultra marathon in the Grand Canyon. It's called Peak to Peak to Peak. So you start on one side, run to the other side, and then run back to the other side.
That's hard.
It'd be fun.
I think it'd be really cool to do trick riding, but I don't know. That ship might have sailed in my life.
They probably have that thing for seniors like you.
Oh, my Lanta. I don't know. I feel like all the stuff I did with horses, I loved that. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why did you want to like get up so early to go like clean, you know, however many stalls? And ride a horse, and I loved doing that. That was fun. Also helped keep me grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of questions. So, what of the things, we're getting more serious again, sorry, people.
Okay.
What are the things that I do is like very helpful to you? Because, like, you ask, like, I feel like you get asked a lot, like, oh, what
Yeah.
things like, does the guy do that's helpful? So, now it's your turn to answer that question. What things do I do are like helpful to you
Yeah.
in your
Do you
health and
just want to feel
hormonal
really
journey?
good about yourself for a minute?
No, I honestly curious because like I feel like I answered the question and like you know what I don't really necessarily know if like or maybe there's something I do and I don't really realize. But yes, you can also talk about any other areas that I excel because there are many.
Um, okay, so I get asked, I'm gonna give this in multiple ways. I get asked all the
I'm okay with
time
that. In multiple ways, I'm good.
how I run a business and have a husband and have kids and am pregnant with another kid.
I have
Um,
a role to play in that.
oh my Lanta. So, and the answer is genuinely you. Like yes, I have a team that helps support me. Like, I have Morgan who's amazing. Kara who is my coach, and I'm trying to think of all the people I have. I think we have 5 people on we have a lot of people. So that is a huge reason is I have learned to delegate. So I have a lot of support, but you understanding and being supportive is the main reason why I can do this. Because when I first started, like, you were helping me do my website because like I am so technologically challenged. And we look at the schedule ahead of time and I'm like, hey, like I have to do calls this night, and you will um put Landon to bed. Actually, you
Yeah.
do that most nights, but um
Bonding time.
you'll listen for him. Or when I'm super busy and that I have a lot of like schedules, you make dinner.
Yeah. So flexibility.
Yeah, I think we're good at
Teamwork.
communicating, and teamwork is really useful. I think that's the biggest one.
I feel so like I feel like those are all things in our relationship and stuff and like helping you do your business. But I mean more so like for your hormonal health and like your health as a person. So put your business and our relationship and everything aside. So like when your clients ask you like, "Oh, like what things
Yeah.
does your husband do that's like helpful or like or ask advice about their husbands?"
Okay.
So like what things
So
like I a lot of times would talk about like I'm down for new foods, I'm down to
yeah.
try new things, and it's like I feel like those are good answers, but like at the same time they're probably not all that helpful to you.
I think the biggest thing that you do is you pay attention to ingredients. And so, like, you aren't constantly bringing in food to the house or products to the house or anything where I'm just
Except
like,
that wing sauce I bought.
yeah, that. But besides that, genuinely, generally, you are quite good at it. I distinctly remember. So this is when I was just like, wow, like you have reached like the point of like really supportive in hormones. This was back when I couldn't have dairy. And you were like, I made chocolate covered strawberries for dessert, and I don't know if you could just see the fear wheels in my I was like, oh my gosh, these are gonna make me feel so sick. And you were like, I got organic strawberries and I got the dairy free like chocolate that doesn't have soy in it. And I was just like, oh, I love
Because
you.
it's like your favorite dessert.
It is,
Next
yeah.
to like Grater's raspberry chocolate chip ice cream is probably your favorite.
Yeah.
Or cheesecake. Sometimes you really like cheesecake.
You make really good cheesecake.
Okay, so.
But I would say, yeah, just paying attention to like what foods I'm needing and paying attention to ingredients and making that a priority instead of like being like, oh my gosh, like blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
you got on board.
Okay. So I am out of water, so I just have a couple more questions. 75 hard. I gotta get that gallon of water and I'm really thirsty.
I know.
Anyway, So I don't know what order these podcasts will be released in, because they'll be released when you're on maternity leave, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere around there. I don't know but spoiler alert, if it's not out yet, I am a guest on your podcast. So now that
Yeah.
I've come onto your podcast, who's your next favorite person that you've interviewed? So like if somebody wants to go back and listen to probably your favorite other episode.
Oh, my Lanta. Okay. Can
Or it could be somebody who's going to be on, who like you either
Yeah.
recorded and it's going to be released, or somebody you know you're going to do one with. Who is that other episode?
But I feel like that's insulting to the other people.
I mean, maybe it is. That's probably insulting to be like, this is my favorite person.
Yeah.
So that's fair. So let me rephrase that
Okay.
question. We'll just go with it's me. Just say
Yes.
I'm your
You're
favorite.
my favorite.
Yes. Okay. So who would be like your dream, like, is it called a host? Guest. Who would be your dream
Dream guest?
guest? Like just somebody where like you'd shit rainbows if like you had them on your podcast.
I truly like. I don't know if I've thought about that long enough. It would definitely be like someone in the. Okay, I can name some people that I think would be really cool to have on my podcast. Like I think Nicole Jarden would
I don't
be.
know who that is.
Yeah, I think she would be really cool. I think Dr. Jolene Brayton would be really cool. But like,
I've seen that name, but I don't know who that is.
I
It's a book.
think like the one. I think Dr. Laura Brydon. Yeah, if we had her on as a guest, I think I would just sit there and be like,
Okay.
tell me what's going on in your life.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not
Anyway.
I love all of our guests though. I will say there's been I want to think of like the ones where they dropped information that was kind of like jaw dropping for me. You know?
The episodes you've already had.
Yeah.
Well, mine obviously.
Yeah.
We'll link it in the comments. We will do that.
Francesca will. Dr. Angie Miller. She was really, really good.
Is it Miller or Mueller? Isn't it Mueller?
It's spelled Mueller, but she says it's Miller. That's how you say
That's
it.
not how you pronounce your name, Dr. Mueller.
That's how she pronounces it. That one is very on pelvic floor, balancing your hormones. That one's pretty jaw dropping. The other one that I was just like jaw dropping is, I think it's out by the time this one comes out, is the men's side of fertility. I mean, there was multiple times during that interview I had to pick my jaw off the ground.
Yeah.
So like,
I would have guessed probably so if I was gonna guess, I would probably guessed, Dr. Angie Miller.
Yeah.
Or I know the mushroom thing was a really big deal to you when that came out.
That was wild. That's a really old episode,
Yeah.
but we'll link that one. Literally, again, that's one of the ones where
Again, not necessarily your favorites, but ones where that made a big impact on you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, one
Yeah.
more question, since you didn't answer my original question. Who's your role model?
People ask me that, and I don't really got one.
So like, maybe reframe the question. So like, who is it? Whether it's someone you know, or like someone you know of. So like an actor or an author or a doctor, like somebody you know of, like you've seen their work or you've read their book or whatever. Do they have like attributes that draw to you? So like, I mean, this could even be like, oh, my dad, because like he has this trait and I just really like that trait. So like for me, like Cam Haines is a big one, because he's just like every single day, no matter what, not running less than 13 miles. Like he just like works hard every single day, and so just like that work hard really draws to me. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a role model, but that attribute pulls to me. So like, what's one person where they have an attribute where you're just like, you feel like you just really like that?
I have like multiple people because I like different attributes of them.
Yeah, and so you do. So like, I have multiple different ones. So it's like, what would be just pick one or two. So let's do this. Let's pick like somebody who's like big and well known, and like maybe your listeners would know of. So and then pick somebody who's not. So like maybe it's like a friend or a parent or.
So I will say someone that I always look up to for their education and like how much they know, and I really relish is not the right word, but look to her for opinions because I think she's very smart is Dr. Jess. Um, I always want to say her last name wrong, so hold on one second. Um, I don't know how to pronounce it. She's gonna murder me, but it's Petros or Petros or something like
Not a
that.
very good role model. She murders you.
I know.
Never meet your heroes, people.
But I love her knowledge base, and I think that she's very well informed. So I really enjoy her. She would be really cool to have on the podcast too. And then I don't know. I like really admire Brigitte. I really
Yeah.
admire how like she's so good at building relationships, like being a good friend. Like I value that.
She seems like a very positive person.
Yeah, but like she's always someone that will just like check in and be like, "How are you doing?" Like knows what's going on in your life, and I think she's a very good friend. I value that trait. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Good job. I could ask more questions. This is honestly kind of fun. But I'm out of water and I
Okay.
have 45 minutes of a workout to do still.
All right. Well, anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, please let us know. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Balancing Hormones Naturally. If you found this helpful, I would love for you to share it with a friend and post it on your stories and tag Balancing Hormones Naturally podcast so we can get this message out. You can find me on Instagram at Leah_BRUEG, and I would absolutely love to hear from you.